Hi guys, welcome to this short session. And in this session, we'll discuss about the First World War. And as we all know, it is considered as one of the largest wars in the history. And in this session, we'll first discuss a brief introduction about the First World War. Then we discuss about the causes of First World War. Then we discuss about the codes of First World War, and finally we discuss about the consequences of First World War. And we'll end this session by discussing India's role in First World War. So this is how I plan this session. Let's now start. So friends, the First World War, as I said, it is one of the largest wars in the history. And in this World War, you can see two opposing alliances. They fought each other. The one is Allies, and the opposing power is Central Powers. And with Allies, British Empire, France, and the Russian Empire included. And with Central Powers, Germany and Austria-Hungary were included. So these were the two opposing alliances in the First World War. And it is started from 28th July 1914 to 11th November 1918. The date is not much important with the UPSC preparation. Anyways, for your information, I given this. And we'll now discuss what were the causes of First World War. So friends, the root cause of First World War was that in the background there were many conflicts between European nations, and these nations grouped among themselves to form military alliances as there were tension and suspicion among them. It was a root cause. And other causes was there were conflict between imperialist countries, and particularly against the ambition of Germany. Several European nations were imperial powers prior to World War One, and imperial rivalry and competition for new territories and possessions fueled tension between major European nations and become a factor in the outbreak of war. And there were conflict between old imperialist countries versus new imperialist countries. And old imperialist countries included Britain and France, and the new imperialist countries were headed by Germany. And the major reason was Germany built a ship called Imperator, which was said to be the largest ship in the world. And Germany entered the shipping trade by the creation of Imperator. And also Germany built a railway line from Berlin to Baghdad. So Germany was expanding its operations, and this became a point of contention between the old imperialist countries like Britain and France and the new imperialist countries headed by Germany. And the second reason is ultra nationalism. There was a movement called Pan-Slav movement, which happened in Russia, Polish, Czech, Serb, Bulgaria, and Greek. And Slavs they are the members of most numerous ethnic and linguistic body of peoples in Europe. They resided in Eastern and Southern Europe, chiefly in Eastern and Southeastern Europe. And Russia had started Pan-Slav movement, and what Russia wanted was all Slav origin people to be united under it. And Serbia, a Slav nation in the Balkan, wanted to unite all Slavs and was encouraged by Russia. And the Pan-Slav movement originally was formed by West and South Slav intellectuals, scholars, and poets, and whose peoples were at that time also developing in their sense of national identity. And the story goes like the Balkan countries had been under the rule of Ottoman Turks. And however, in the 19th century, the Ottoman rule had begun to collapse, and there were revolts by various nationalities for independence. And the Russian Tsars hoped that these areas would come under their control once the Ottoman were ousted from there. And they encouraged a movement called Pan-Slav movement for that, which was based on the theory that all Slavs of Eastern Europe were one people. And many areas in Austria and Hungary were also inhabited by Slavs. Russia therefore encouraged movements both against the Ottoman Empire and Austria-Hungary. The major Balkan country Serbia led the movement for uniting the areas inhabited by the Slavs in the Ottoman Empire as well as Austria-Hungary. And Serbian nationalism was encouraged by Russia. And other major European powers were alarmed at the growth of Russian influences in the Balkans. So they want to check Russian influences, while Austria-Hungary had plans for expansion in this area. So corresponding to Pan-Slav movement, there was a Pan-German movement which aimed at the expansion of Germany all over the Central Europe and in the Balkans. So Italy claimed that areas which were under the Austrian rule, and France hoped to recover not only the Alsace-Lorraine, which she had lost to Germany in 1871, but also to wreak vengeance on Germany for humiliating defeat that France had suffered in the war with Germany in 1870-71. So these were all reasons. There was an ultra-national nationalism movement taking place in that time in this region. Mainly the Pan-Slav movement and Pan-German movement. And now the third cause is the military alliance. Basically, there were two military alliances. The first one is Triple Alliance or Central Powers, which was formed in 1882, which included Germany, Italy, and Austria-Hungary. And secondly, there were Triple Entente or Allies, which was formed in 1907, included Britain, France, and Russia. And the main thing to note here is, although Italy was a member of Triple Alliance alongside Germany and Austria-Hungary, it did not join the Central Powers. It was because Austria-Hungary had taken offensive against the terms of the alliance, so Italy did not join the Central Powers, and these alliances were reorganized and expanded as more nations entered the war. Italy, Japan, and United States joined the Allies, while Ottoman Empire and Bulgaria joined the Central Powers. So at the start, the alliance was like a Triple Alliance, which included Germany, Italy, Austria, and Hungary. And then the Triple Entente included Britain, France, and Russia. And in the due course, these equations changed. And the next reason is international anarchy. That is, there was a secret agreement between Britain and France allowing Britain to control Egypt and France to take over Morocco. However, Germany opposed to this and but settled with the part of French Congo. And there was the failure of Hague Conference of 1882 and 1907 to emerge as an international organization, which has also led to international anarchy. The Hague Conference was signed, or the convention was signed and issued by US President Abraham Lincoln to Union Forces of United States during the American Civil War. And the two Hague conferences hold considerable importance in the history of international relations because they represent the first serious concrete efforts to solidify projects aiming to avoid but also to humanize war, and they were also the starting point for the development of laws governing warfare. And then we have the Balkan Wars. Many Balkan nations were under the control of Turkey, which included Serbia, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, etc. And these Balkan nations defeated Turkey in the first Balkan War, and the subsequent war was between the Balkan countries themselves. For example, there was war between Serbia and Bulgaria, and the defeated countries like Turkey and Bulgaria sought German help, and this has developed into a reason for the First World War. And the sixth reason is Alsace-Lorraine. That is, during the German unification, Germany got Alsace-Lorraine from France. France wanted to capture Alsace-Lorraine back from Germany. So this has developed a rivalry between Germany and France. And lastly, the immediate cause, that is assassination of Francis Ferdinand. That is, he was an Austrian Archduke, the Francis Ferdinand, and he was assassinated by a Serbian native in Bosnia. And following that, Austria declared war on Serbia on 28 July 1914. And the reason for assassination was annexation by Austria, the Bosnia Herzegovina against the Congress of Berlin on 1878. So that was major causes for the First World War. And now we will discuss the cause of First World War. So there were two major groups. That is the first group we have already seen. That is Allies group, which included Serbia, Russia, Britain, France, USA, Belgium, Portugal, and Romania, and there were other nations also included. And second group, Central Powers, Austria-Hungary, Germany, Italy, Turkey, Bulgaria, etc. And the conflicts developed on several fronts in Europe, Africa, and Asia. The two main scenarios were the Western Front, where the Germans confronted Britain, France, and after 1917, the Americans, and it is called the Battle of Marne. And the second front was Eastern Front, in which Russians fought against Germans and Austro-Hungarians, and that is called the Battle of Tannenberg, which Russia was defeated. So after a brief German advance in 1917, the Western Front was stabilized and a long and brutal trench warfare started. It was a war of attrition. The Western Front remained immovable, and meanwhile the Eastern Front, the Germans advanced but not decisively. And in 1917, two events changed the course of war. The United States joined the Allies, and Russia, after the Russian Revolution, that is October Revolution, abandoned the conflict and signed a separate peace. So finally, the German offensive in the spring of 1918, the Allied counterattack managed to force a decisive retreat of German army and the defeat of its Germany's allies, and the revolution in Germany that dethroned Wilhelm II, that is the German Empire, brought about the signing of armistice on November 1918, and the Great War was over. So that is the course of war. Major events happened. I just summed up for your understanding the major points. And there was the outcome is Treaty of Versailles. That was a peace document signed between the Imperial Germany and the Allied powers on June 1919. The treaty ended the state of war that had existed between Germany and the Allies from 1914 and brought World War I to an end. And it was signed at Versailles near Paris. And there were several treaties after the treaties were formed after World War I. The first one is the Treaty of Paris with Germany, then the Treaty of Saint Germain with Austria, Treaty of Trianon with Hungary, Treaty of Neuilly with Bulgaria, and Treaty of Severus with Turkey. So these are the major treaties, not that important, but for your information I just mentioned it. Now we discuss what were the consequences of First World War. So the consequences were huge. The rule of king ended in Germany. Germany became a republic on November 1918, and the German Emperor Kaiser William II fled to Holland, and around 1 crore people were killed. Unemployment and famine was a consequence. Epidemics was a consequence, and the fall of Russian Empire after October Revolution, which resulted in the formation of USSR, and also there was emergence of USA as a superpower, and it was the beginning of the end of European supremacy, and Japan became a powerful country in Asia. Poland, Yugoslavia, and Czechoslovakia became new independent states, and the Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania became independent. Rule of Ottomans came to an end in Turkey. New boundary lines were drawn for Austria, Germany, and Turkey. Strengthened independence movement in Asia and Africa. League of Nations came into being. Germany had returned to Alsace-Lorraine to France, and German colonies were shared Germany gave up Saar, Caulfield. Germany gave up a Polish corridor and made city of Danzig independent, and monarchy was abolished in Germany, Austria, Hungary, Turkey, and Russia. And the harsh clauses of Treaty of Versailles finally resulted in the Second World War. So these were the consequences of First World War, and it has a huge impact in the political as well as economic history of the world that time. And many equations changed. USA became the superpower. European supremacy came to an end. So these are the major consequences. And now we'll discuss finally what was India's role or India's participation in World War One. So, friends, as British became a part of World War One, so the government of India, which was under the Britishers, automatically became part of it, and Indian Army was also known as Imperial Strategic Reserve, as it supplied massive manpower to Allied forces. All political leadership of the world wanted Indians to participate in World War in maximum number, and Indian nationalists did not seek to take advantage of Britain's vulnerability by inciting rebellions or even disturbances against the empire. We were keeping calm because nationalists widely understood from the British statements that at the end of the war, India would receive dominion status hitherto reserved for the white Commonwealth, and instead Indians rallied to the British cause. There were no mutinies against the British, though the political unrest did continue in Punjab and Bengal. And Mahatma Gandhi, who returned to his homeland from South Africa in January 1915, supported the war as he had supported the British in Boer War. And it was expected that with the help of this war, Indians will get opportunity to receive military training. This way, they will be able to use weapons after the Arms Act of 1878, which restricted Indians to use weapons without license. And masculine nationalism hence will strengthen Indians to stand against the powerful Britishers. So that was India's role and why India participated in World War One. So guys, that's all about this particular topic. Anyways, there is lot more to discuss, but to be precise, this is all major points are covered. The cause, the consequences, India's participation, etc. So please study about this in detail. It's a very important topic in the UPSC prelims as well as mains, more in the mains perspective. So that's all about today. We'll meet tomorrow with another topic. Thank you for watching this lesson.